Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. I thought I would sit down and do another video for you guys and gals. Let me get a sip of my water first. My radio voice going. Let's talk about this. All right. We see a big trend again of people trying to promote anti-nutrients as a bad thing, as if they are links to bad health. The leading experts, leading doctors, the leading researchers in the world laugh at this. It's been debunked. They discuss it in articles saying, look, this is nonsense. We're talking about things like lecithin and oxalates specifically. All right. And when I say that, when I say the science shows that they're pretty dang good, they're healthy, and that most of the problems people are concerned about can be largely avoided, there's plenty of expert opinion on this explaining why, and that this is just a fringe thing that people do to sell books. And people say, well, I don't trust science. Well, without science, you wouldn't know what an oxalate is. So here's my problem when the people say, well, I don't believe in research and science. Well, then why are you using big fancy words that you don't even know the meaning of? You are aware without microscopes and chemistry and biology, you wouldn't know the word oxalate. You would never have heard of it. It wouldn't be a topic. People forget that in these topics. You can't take one and then say, well, I don't believe in the science and research and data on this, but you're going to believe in the existence of it. That's like saying, oh, I disagree with this position by quantum mechanics experts on quarks and string theory. But it's like, but without quantum mechanics, you would never have heard of these things. You wouldn't know about subatomic particles or any of that. Okay, this is a nonsense position. All right, oxalates is an easy one to debunk. And when I tell people, just go read, just simply go to Google and type the word in and put health concerns behind the word and see what all the actual experts say who are not trying to sell you some fringe book on it. See the rebuttals to a lot of the medical doctors who discuss these things. Oxalates. What is the only real health concern with oxalates? The concern is the formation of calcium-based kidney stones. All right, the solution is twofold. Even the experts who treat this with diet point out, they're like, okay, in some people, yeah, you could do a lower oxalate diet. Like number two, you could cook the food, that would help. So that's your big issue with oxalates. A lot of it goes away by cooking to some extent. So people say, well, I don't want to eat the broccoli because it's got whatever, spinach and all that. They want low oxalate vegetables. They don't want kidney stones. Excreting that calcium into the kidneys. What do the experts say who treat kidney stones? They're like, you know what the better solution is? What's more successful, and they might use the low oxalate diet in extreme cases, what's more successful is to drink more water. They're like, even if your oxalates are high in your diet and you're genetically prone to these kidney stones, if you just drink enough water, you still won't get them. Quit being dehydrated. It's like, people will literally go, I'm going to avoid some of the healthiest foods on earth because I'm scared I might get kidney stones. But they refuse to drink water. So you're going to deprive yourself of all sorts of amazing nutrients because you're scared of a glass of water. Again, if that's your mindset, go see a therapist. Your fear of water needs to be discussed. You need to seek therapy for your fear of water. It's kind of important for life and health. Get over the fear of water, then you can eat broccoli. Now, they will point out in some extreme cases, if they need to deal with it short term, they'll put people on these diets, but they still have them drink the water because the water still does more to flush it out. Lecitins. So this is, again, potentially blocks the absorption of certain things. Certain types of them can be toxic in the gut. You know, the worst case would be from beans. So you don't undercook your beans. But we come over to the whole issue. That's what gives you gas from beans in some cases. That's one of the worst offenders. All these other vegetables that have them, much easier and quicker to remove. But you take that and it's like, but they're not dangerous if you cook it. All right, that's the big issue that, again, the experts point out. They're like, okay, yes, in large quantities they can be a problem, but they also have health benefits. In small quantities, they have health benefits. They're good for you. But if you want to reduce the quantities, cooking the food works. It dramatically reduces it. And particularly in the really high foods, like they're talking about the concern with beans, cooking it correctly, it reduces the amount of them well over 99%. We're talking something like 1 in 10,000 or something. I think that's a figure I saw somewhere. Something like 1 in 10,000 of them are left after appropriate cooking of a long enough time. And the same with the others, your oats, your vegetables and whatever. If you're concerned with this, guess what? And this is what the leading experts say who measure it. They're like, well, quit eating it raw. And when I say oats, I mean instant oats you can actually eat raw because they've been pre-cooked. But quit eating your oats raw. Quit eating raw brown rice. Quit eating raw grains that are straight from the thing and never been cooked. Stop eating your potatoes raw. You should cook them first. Quit trying to eat raw beans. Are you finding a trend here? Do people not understand that cooking was a miracle for our species? We're a cooked food species, and it's because most of the foods in nature, people are like, well, some of these anti-nutrients are there to protect them from predators eating them. But we figured out that cooking gets rid of this. One, it increases nutrient absorption. In other words, if you cook most of your vegetables, you get more nutrients from them than if you eat them raw. And they're better for you, way better for you. Okay, cook your food. Fruits tend to be the exception because fruits, it's in the best interest of the fruit plant for animals to eat it. That's why fruits exist. It's part of the reproductive cycle of using the ecology around them for these plants to get their seeds passed along and basically excreted out of the animals that eat them. So it's desirable for them to be eaten. So they don't necessarily always have these defense mechanisms against being eaten. But the thing is, we bypassed this a long time ago, before humans even existed, modern humans. Other hominids already figured out you can cook the foods, it fixes the problem. It's like cooking meat takes the bacteria count down, less people eat that too. Cook your food that has these things in them. You don't have to avoid them, just cook it. And keep in mind, in small amounts, they show health benefits. And the data is overwhelming that fruits and vegetables and grains are good for you. We see it in the lab, we see it in the epidemiology. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.